Hello, welcome back, you're with me, Icy Snaps. I know I'm a bit late with this album as it was released earlier this year, but I listened to it and I felt compelled to make a review. I don't know why, I just did. I'm actually a big fan of Adam, at least his earlier stuff anyway. In particular, Insect Airport and Port Blue. Insect Airport being quite ambient and chill and instrumental, it was great. And then Port Blue, which felt like a bit of an edgier Owl City, to be honest. And alongside these, I really enjoyed Owl City. I was there on MySpace. I was there when he started to get big. And after the release of Ocean Eyes, I saw him live here in London. I think Lights was opening for him. They were all great, including him and her band, everyone. Fast forward to now, and he's had many successful songs, released lots of albums, and now he's here with another one. So, Coco Moon, an 11-song album. Let's get into it. Starting with his first song, Adam, Check Please. I kind of get the sentiment of this song, but if you ask anyone who works in retail, they'll tell you they hate it. They don't look back fondly. It all feels a bit like hail corporate to me, I don't know. I do get the feeling he's kind of afraid to reach those sugar sweet highs he's had in previous albums. And I do find everything just kind of sits in this sort of mid-range level. Although I do enjoy the piercing snare through the chorus and a lot of the synth lines. Other than that, it's very formulaic Adam, and nothing really grabs your attention. And combined with that, an issue I find with many of the songs are his lyrics are just too specific. He takes the idea of storytelling and just makes it too focused and too detailed. Another issue is that this song could be 2 minutes shorter, and most songs on the album suffer from this. I have nothing against long songs, but I do have an issue if they just go on and on for no reason, to the point where I'm actually losing interest. The next song, Under the Circus Lights. Does anyone get the impression that Adam has a thing for gymnasts? Because I'm pretty sure this is the second or third time he's wrote about it. Anyway, I quite like the start of this song. It starts super sweet and dreamy, but is kind of ruined by this accordion sound. And honestly, I wasn't a massive fan of the electronic strings in this one. I get from a lot of these tracks that he's going for this like Pixar anthem vibe, and I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it's kind of like, I could imagine them in the background of a Pixar film. The song Kelly Time is kind of where the album picks up for me. And again, a completely random story, but that's kind of Adam's thing, you know, that's his charm. It's either completely random or a really focused story. As with this song, most of the album sounds pretty clean, it's well mixed, maybe even slightly too compressed at some parts, but nothing stands out in particular. It's all very cheery and sweet as you can expect with Adam. In his earlier albums like Of June, it was this kind of lo-fi production that wasn't perfect, and that holds its own charm. That's what made it great. It felt personal. And when you get better and you get professional help, yeah, things sound better and cleaner, but sometimes they lose that soul. There's no harm in stepping back, trying something new, a bit more risky, and not focus on getting it perfect. There's a reason why there's lots of demand for songs that sound chaotic and sound technically bad. But yeah, getting back to the song, it suffers slightly being too long. Again, a frequent issue we're seeing with this album. Next song, Field Notes. This is one of those songs that are way too descriptive for me. That said, I enjoyed the vibe, and it's one of the only songs I kind of appreciate its length, and actually the last minute and a half or so was my favourite part. And then we come to Sons of Thunder, an upbeat positive message which we kind of expect from Adam at this point. It's all very synthy, and then boom, in the chorus, these guitars, which actually I think contrast really well with the sort of soft, sweet synths. And he always brings in really nice supporting artists. They always compliment his voice, compliment the music, and I'm not sure if he always uses the same one, but he always chooses like a really good vocalist. Moving on to Tornado. This song for me was one of the more interesting songs on the album. Not in terms of lyrics, but in terms of instrumental. It really takes you on this journey of the calm before the storm, and then pushes you into this swirl of like orchestral drums. Really great, I think. And surprisingly, when he comes in with his vocals, I was kind of not expecting it, but they come in really distorted, kind of, they add to that vibe of like the tornado and he's in distress, and it really worked. And yeah, again, it was really unexpected, but I wish he would do more of that. It was nice to hear him sort of pushing that boundary, and yeah, really enjoyed that. Okay, Vitamin C. What do I even say about this song? When I get kind of salty, I need some vitamin C, but the C is salty? Not sure about that one. Dinosaur Park. This is how I imagine it went down. Adam watched Night at the Museum, and then went to visit a dinosaur park and thought, that's a hit song right there. The song though is actually fine. I didn't particularly mind it. I quite like its journey. All the instruments were good, all the mix was good, but again, it was too long. I got to a point where I was convinced I was listening to a different song, and then he comes in with the lyrics Dinosaur Park, and I'm like, oh, it's not over yet. It was really too long. And then we move on to Learn How to Surf. We kind of see that Adam we know and love. The song is actually probably one of the best on the albums. Nothing really more I want to add to that. Off of that, we get the Meadow Lark, which again, I understand the sort of anti-war sentiment, but for some reason it feels lost in these super sweet vocals and like synths. And with the religious quotes, it just doesn't do anything for me. And the last song on the album, My Muse, which is one of those classic Adam ballads you know and love. It's a sweet little love song. Yeah, it's cheesy, but that's his thing. It's pretty minimal with the piano and the vocals being the like focus. It was fine and nothing really to complain about, but also nothing special. I know Adam's music is always compared to his earlier stuff, but there's good reason for it. It's nostalgic, fairly niche at the time. For me, his first few albums are like listening to sugar. It's all very sweet, it has a dreamy atmosphere, almost quite floaty, and it leaves you wanting more. But this recent album is like listening to syrup. Like, yes, it's very sweet, but it all just combines in a big glob and it's hard to differentiate the songs. Things start to sound the same, and after a while it just gets too much. And that's what this album is. Yes, the production quality is great. Most of the songs are too long. The lyrics are too specific and honestly quite forgettable. It pains me to say this because I do actually want Adam to succeed, but I also have to be honest. And with that, cheer up and dry your damp eyes, because I'm giving this album a 3 out of 10.